Welcome to another episode of Four Lake Forest, and today we are building a coaster. Well, unsurprisingly, the brand new Vekoma STC that just came with the brand new Toybox DLC releasing today. Well, that is, if my computer is finally able to render again. Maybe it's also been released yesterday and you see it on Friday. I don't know. You'll tell me in the comments when you see it. That's actually, you know what? That's a fun little thing to do. Please tell me when and where you're watching this video and what's your local time, because I find this always super interesting to understand if you're looking at or like watching these things in the morning, in the evening, in your lunch break, or on the way to your public transport. I don't know. They're the weirdest stuff I've heard from people when you're watching my stuff. So just let me know. That would be very interesting indeed. Now also, you can see to make a terrain STC or like a terrain coaster just in general, first thing we need to have is, well, proper terrain. And that lake over here always has been a bit of a thing I wanted to change up anyways, simply because for a proper like Black Forest area, it still was way too flat over here. We still needed to go into more of a hilly environment and more distinct height elevations. It still is a little bit too little, to be completely honest with you, but I try to find a balance between realism and workability kind of in the game itself. So there may actually be a little bit of a difference here in the future of not going so, crazy into the height elevations that realistically would be the Black Forest. But I'll try. I have an idea to do something really cool for a backdrop of the park, so I may do a bit of, trickery here and there, but let's see if that works in the future. Now, as for the layout, I went completely random here and completely freeform. I must say I'm extremely happy with the outcome. So as far as it goes for realism, and there are a couple of things I have to quickly talk about. So obviously there are only two examples in the world, which is the Hals über Kopf tips drill version, and the other one, let me just quickly completely tell you the correct name, because I'm too bad. This is the Nafiana Force in the Emerald Park. So these two are the ones we have as a reference, and both of the ones I obviously double checked as for the layout, and I'm kind of happy that this works out pretty well. We do also have some announced ones that will come in the future, but for the moment being, I refer to the two again that we already know of, and they have a very flowing layout, a very fast layout as for these type of, inverted coasters. If you compare them, for example, to the B&M inverts, the B&M inverts, they are mostly a lot more compact. I mean, obviously there are some more modern ones that also have a bit more of a flowy layout, but if you go for the standard Gen 1 B&M kind of inverted ones, they have a very standard compact one, having one element after the other, and the connection mostly was like the same type of turns, while those two layouts of the Vekoma STC, they are a lot more free and fast and have a lot of kind of switch from left to right and a couple of little airtime moments. So I'm trying to do that, and all paired with a different approach. As this is a terrain conforming kind of coaster, it is a bit of a different one, because we do not only utilize the speed of the lift hill. In fact, it is a way smaller lift hill than you usually would have, simply because we have the terrain to work with and we can go down. It was also a challenge to figure out how to, not make it too fast in the first part of the coaster, and how to make it pacing nicely, generally, through the entire layout. I have done a couple of fixes in the real-time build, so I don't have that on the speed build, but you'll see when we go in-game, I'll show you a bit more what I changed and why I changed certain things. There are little quirks here and there, but I'll fix them when I do the theming for that one, which, by the way, is not the next episode. The next episode is something else, which already can be seen in this park, but I think you will not be able to spot it in the episode. You can try to see it in the background somewhere, but for tomorrow's episode, which is going to be special, which is utilizing a lot of the new pieces and two things from the new pack, actually. So that's going to be fun, but it's not been finished yet. I had more work with it than I thought it was. I mean, we had early access for a while. Thank you, Frontier, by the way. That is a little bit of a thing I wanted to do. Oh, by the way, before I forget, there is a linky to a charity project. I'm going to pin this as the first comment. Frontier is supporting some childcare stuff, and I find this a very cool and very great thing to support. So if you want to support that, I'll do myself as well. There is a linky in the description which you can follow and help children. Let me just quickly read out as well how exactly that is called. There's so many mails in the last couple days here. It is actually a campaign for the Great Ormond Street Hospital charity, one of the world's leading children's hospitals, to help support them in their goal of building a new children's cancer center. Link here, as I said, down below. You can, it's totally optional to, do that, but I just wanted to quickly mention this in case you want to support. So let's go back to the coaster. I obviously also wanted to have a mid-course brake run in here, and I tried a couple of things, and again, for the pacing, I needed to switch things around a little here because I wanted the second part of the coaster still be very flowing and nice, and make sure that it still makes it into the little push tire lift hill kind of section, or uphill section at the end of the layout. So you can see the switch already into a color scheme that I quite like. I wanted to go with the red vibes, and like this La Fiena one is also red, but also just kind of, I like the color of Fly as well, which I was told is not exactly the same type of track, but it is also an inverted coaster by Vekoma, and I'm a big fan of this one. And it was also time to, embed a bit of pathing over here. And specifically in this build, I mean, it's not necessarily something that is related to this very update, but specifically in this build, I noticed again how incredibly great the pathing is in this game. The sheer pace, how you can quickly lay out nice areas and plazas and just make things look good. Oh, it's just such a game changer, specifically when you play also Planet Zoo or Planet Coaster 1 in between, which I do. You start to realize how much of a pain that is to build the same quality of path, and I mean, literally you can't, simply because of all the tools we got, by the way. But yeah, it's such a charm to build path now, having the option to build ramps and all these kind of things easily without having the need to kind of build this yourself or make this kind of track follow method that specifically in Bro Nation was developed during Planet Coaster 1. Yeah, I'm just a very big fan of the fact that this is now working just as it should, and I am very happy with the outcome of the coaster. As for the layout, the theming is just going to be a bit of nature loosely for the video. It's going to be changed up. I have a very specific idea for the theming of this coaster. It's been always meant to be a coaster on that hill over here, by the way. It's not been meant a hanging coaster, like it's not been an inverted coaster. I had something else in mind. I may talk about that in the episode when we do the theming. It was meant to be a dive coaster in this space over here, but I'm quite happy that it's not going to be a dive coaster. I might have been a little bit too much obvious choice, the dive coaster, so I'm happy we have a very new coaster that I think fits super well in here. And also, don't hesitate to give me good feedback on the layout. I know there are a lot of people being very nerdy about coasters, so let me know your feedback. I will try to bring this in as much as I can, and try to optimize the coaster as best as I can. But as always, remember, I try to go the Rudialistic way to make it as believable and realistic as possible, but still maintain a level of creative freedom to embed the things the way I think they are great. And I think when it comes to realism, there is also a big of a gray area. What's realistic? Is it realistic that it physically could work, or is it just realistic when you follow the original elements that have already been built? I think I would love to be somewhere in between, but yeah. So as for that, this is mostly it about the time lapse. So at this point, let's hop over into the real-time part and have a look at this beautiful coaster. Alright, so here we are in the final file, well, final for the moment at least, obviously in snow, because we have to witness that in this beautiful new weather. In case you haven't caught that in today's update video, Frontier is still working on this. I have given them already a week ago some immense feedback on the weather, and they have already given us the approval. They are fixing a whole bunch of things, including, for example, making snow overall a lot more hazy and dark, including making it more prone on foliage and also on pathways, because it doesn't actually work on pathways for whatever reason. Well, I guess there was a reason, like the idea that they would kind of take care of it in real life. I don't know, but let's jump out of it and look at the coaster indeed, because that is what we want to do today. This is our terrain confirming Vekoma STC. I took the chance to take a bit of an evening light. I think that looks the most beautiful here with the snow. All the park in the background also looks beautiful with the snow. It just kind of, I don't know, it just makes the game look so different all of a sudden. We could also, just for the sake of this wonderful overview, I think it makes sense to maybe go to 1 a.m. again. I don't know, I think it just helps to see it a bit better. We can follow the coaster through the layout first of all from the outside. So let's first of all, hit pause and then go into the, well actually let's go to the other train. And then we go into the interest. Nope, hold on. Wing, front bumper, look forward, chase, orbit. This is the one I wanted to go in, so we can have a follow round of the coaster here, so you can see how it behaves. So it comes in first, then has an outside roll, turning to the other side, coming down into this one, getting up again into a bit of a path interaction over here with a curve, then turning around yet again into a dive loop kind of thing, coming up into a bit of a more brutal turn, and then goes a left-right, very quick turn here to get some fun, you know, forces in. And then we go the first time into one of the in-mountain sections, I should say. Goes all the way through here. We're going to style that nicely, having a bit of a left-right bump again, and goes into yet another inversion, coming around. Then it goes yet again into an inside area here through that tunnel, and into a roll, which is a bit on the slower side, you know. So we don't really have that much airtime in general. You know, we have a bit of a nice wobble up and down section here and there, but like airtime is really something I could basically improve, I guess, over the course of the whole thing. I think I have the chance to put that in here more. I guess this would be an area which could benefit nicely from it, but the airtime I had over here has been changed with with that little airtime, sorry, mid-course brake run over here, I should say. Also, while we're at it, I need to quickly fix something in here. So there is a bit of a terrain going, hold on, there we have it. Also, actually, the stone. It's actually the stone, so we can push that one out. So this is the mid-course brake run. But I assume you all want to have a ride on this coaster. So we are exactly doing... You know what I figure? I can't really see the cursor that nicely in in the snow. That's definitely something I didn't have in... that's the wrong one. Let's go to the other train. There we have it. This is something I did not really have in Planet Zoo. I think this is because it was darker and more grayish, and then the cursor had a bit of a better contrast to it. So hopefully they are going to fix this with the weather fixes. They also do fix the thunderstorms, by the way, making them also darker, making them also more hazy. Hopefully also desaturated. So Frontier, if you're listening, desaturated. I think I had that in my mail anyways, but yeah, I sent them some examples, but here you can see that. I mean, we are going for blue sky while it's snowing. Like, where the heck is the snow coming from? It just makes no sense whatsoever. I'm just happy to confirm they are fixing this, and also fixing that on some foliage it just keeps lying more so. Yeah, here we go into the layout, having that roll coming around really nicely. Goes down, zooming all the way up, and then into that turn. I think we can really turn that into an airtime hill, and then roll, very flowing into the dive loop, and then go up, right turn, very heavy banking, and now this is a bit of a zigzag over here, left, right, and up again it goes, and here we go into the mid-course brake run, very nice indeed, and then we go steep right-hander into one of the indoor sections, and then, having a bit of wobble here. That one is a bit of a part which I'm going to change. This is also very interesting to create some airtime. I'll change that up. And then we go into the other kind of cave until we come into the final roll, kind of barrel kind of thing. Yeah, again, this one is a bit of a slower side. Not sure how I fix this. Maybe go one step down, one tick down with the friction maybe. But other than that, I am fairly happy with the layout. I think it's nicely flowing. It works very nicely as a terrain conforming coaster. I think the overall footprint of the coaster is very nice. I think it just fits super well in this region. As soon as I have dressed up the lakeside down here nicely again, it'll look so much better as well. And the path interaction will also be very fun once this is done. I'm looking into changing this side of the lake quite significantly so that there is an area to go to, and then there's maybe also a flat ride or like a restaurant or so where you can then have a look at the coaster from down here. So this turn over here should be almost like on the path side of things, so you can see that maybe putting some fountains in or so could be a fun idea. So this is gonna receive some interaction. This part is gonna stay mostly natural, and same goes on the top here, and the rest will be implemented quite nicely. So don't worry, it's not going to be the final stage. We can also, you know, just for the sake of doing that, we can switch over into thunderstorms as well, just because it looks cool. And just going to switch over real quick. You can see how the river is going to unfreeze. There you can see that water is coming in again, and the frozen stuff is good. Actually, I like the effect, how that goes away. So yeah, there we have the thunderstorm. That looks also pretty impressive from over here. I mean, I'd like to call the thunderstorm heavy rain, because essentially it is heavy rain. I really do also... Oh my god. I really do hope that at some point we get the option to change the water, because I'm like not really happy with the water as much as I like the fact this for a tropical region. It doesn't really suit how water would look in these regions over here. I could show you real quick the way it is. So at the moment we have the natural water in here, but if I go for rough water, for example, it doesn't really matter. Oops. Well, that does matter. I'll just go down here. Hello? Why is that not going? There you go. If you go for rough water, it still has that same kind of blue tint. And if we go for clear water, let's just do that. The clear water, it also looks too bluish. I really would love to have the ability to just recolor that into more greenish tint, how it realistically would be in Germany, or like in, let's say, temperate regions anyways. That would be fun to make it really look a lot nicer. I mean, you can tinker around with it, putting some stuff below or so. That would be fun. But yeah, also one thing I wanted to quickly show you, because I like that so much, therefore I need to just go back to snow. Here goes that, and just speed up the whole process. One thing I in particular really like how they did this is very visible in this region. What I do like though is how they managed to have the ability to make these trees and stuff not have snow below them all over the place. So that is really cool. If you specifically look at this region, the way how it just subtly folds into that little area and then covers the entirety here, that looks really damn impressive. Like, and also if you move that tree or scale it down, for example, you can see how the snow just works with it. I really like that. I really like that effect. It just goes to show how dynamic the effect of the snow is. Really am a big fan of this. Yeah, hopefully they give us the option to, again, make the pathways become snowy as well. And I mean, as we have heaters, we can decide ourselves if we want to keep them free of snow. But like, as you can tell, the harsh edge over here, it just doesn't work. I mean, what you could do, you know, you could just go in and then put yourself some kind of snowy parts from the festive set. You could just take them and then sink them in here and then create like a bit of a snow border, if you will, even though it just kind of creates that weird look here. I'm not sure why it does. Just shouldn't do it. But that should not be the case, you know. You should not need to do this. So that then starts to look more realistic if you've got some snow piles on the sides. Yeah, it's not something I want to do, you know, it's not something I want to do, and that for me personally is definitely not enough. So hopefully, or actually it's good that they are going to fix this, because it's just more realistic to have it all covered in snow. Yes, at the beginning, pathways may take a longer while until they are fully covered in snow, but eventually it'll all be covered in snow, specifically when you have like a huge flat area, like a huge plaza that is actually very cold indeed. So there's no way there would be no snow covering the ground if you've got so much snow around. So yeah, and in any case, also if Frontier wants to add some realism, it'll be very fun if they could you know, give us the option to turn the active snow off. So like just have it all snowy, but like the active falling snow is gone. That would be fun as well, or at least have like a bit more of a transition time. That would be very, very, very cool indeed. There's also one thing they are fixing, and I'm just going to go over to show you. I hoped it was the other way around, but I figured that, for example, over here, this track piece is covered in snow, which they said they are going to fix this. This unintentionally was a special track piece covered in snow. I was actually hoping that the whole coaster is covered in snow, and then gets this kind of snowy effect. Honestly, I would prefer the coaster being completely covered in snow. I think it would be a more realistic approach, and then we could do it ourselves. Like, what we can obviously do is, I'm just gonna use that video. Oops, not even meant to do that. We can obviously attach scenery, and then let's see where our terrains should be in here, in the station. And then we can obviously have snow, and as you can see over here, we've got blowing snow large, blowing snow small, and then falling snow. I'm not sure if we've got that one. Yeah, there you have it. Stop, don't test without me having that one attached. Let's see if I can get this nicely attached. Dang it. So maybe we have that one and then attach it. I need a point where it is. It doesn't matter. Okay, so this is where we could attach that, and then a symmetry, let's say mirrored, rational. No, actually mirrored is good. Where's the other one? Yeah, it's kind of over there. Is it the right? Wait, hold on. It should then be at least on the. Yeah, there you go. We need to put that somewhere here to the to them, like so, I guess, and then put them in behind like this. And then we should also be applied to twinning, yes, and apply to all trains, yes. So like that. And then I'm not sure if this always crashes the snow. Oh my god, this could actually be way too much. But let's see. Yeah, I mean, it's too much, obviously. But it would be very cool if occasionally you have that snow blowing effect, and when there's like snow on the track, that would look so fun indeed. As if the coaster would, you know, crush through the snow. I think this would be very cool. Let's see if we catch that one time and then pause the game to see if... There you have that. Okay. Well, you know, in this specific case, it doesn't work because it would be indoors. I mean, you can't really force it to be anywhere else. But let's have a look if we'll catch that. Yet again, in an area below, it doesn't matter. Let's see if we can catch it here. There you have it. Okay, so now if the pathway would have been covered in snow, that would be exactly the point where that would be cool. And then have like a shot like this where the snow is blowing, you know, that would be so damn good. That would be so damn good. Yeah, in any case, let's fly back over to our coaster. This is my Vekoma STC, and I hope you guys enjoyed today's build. We are going on in this park very soon, hopefully tomorrow, at latest Saturday, with a brand new area in the park, which is going to be fun indeed. So thank you so much for watching, and in case if you want to support charity, make sure to check out the first pinned comment. Until then, have a good time. Thank you for watching. I talk to you in the next one, and so on and so forth. Bye-bye.